Hello, my name is Robert Broadhurst from Buxton Real Estate Albert Park. This is the second video in the 2016 series focusing on various aspects of the Port Melbourne property market. Somewhat of an industrial backwater and neglected for far too long, Port Melbourne has over the last 20 years transformed itself into one of Melbourne's premier and eminently livable suburbs. The steady inflow of apartment living kicked off with Mirvac's Beacon Cove development and the converted Sandwich Bay Towers, and this has shown very few signs of abating ever since. With the central business district 5 kilometres north, the Yarra River to the west and Port Phillip Bay to the south, it's really no wonder that Port Melbourne was destined to become a high-end residential enclave. On the back of this urban renewal, a number of landmark apartment buildings call Port Melbourne home, two of which are the subject of this second video for 2016. First of all, the ID Apartments, bounded by Pickles, Rouse and Dank Streets, and secondly, the Bayshore Apartments, bounded by Bay, Rouse and Knott Streets. The Sheridan Group's vision for the ID Apartments, which are located just metres from the beach in Port Melbourne, centre around 4 uniquely designed apartment buildings called Drift, Still, Splash and Tide. These are wrapped around a lush garden setting with palms, fronds and a 25-metre heated pool. The building commenced in June 2002 and it was completed in July 2004. The construction value is $57 million and the configuration consists of 4 distinct sections over 5 levels with basement parking. There are 82 apartments in Drift, otherwise known as 1 Dank Street. There are 37 apartments in Tide, otherwise known as 15 Pickle Street. There are 65 apartments at 19 Pickle Street and 37 apartments in 25 Pickle Street, both named Still. The other distinctive feature of this building are the largest sign painting murals in Victoria, which are on the Pickle Street frontage. The murals were painted in the 1960s with highly durable pigments on the outside walls, which was built in 1887. These were commissioned by United Distillers Limited, otherwise known as UDL. Complementing and yet contrasting with the ID building are the Bayshore Apartments. From completion, both buildings have appealed to a similar demographic of buyer and tenant. However, unlike the ID building, the completion of the Bayshore Apartments was far from smooth. Following the huge success of the Bayview building in 2003, West Point Corporation, based out of Western Australia, embarked on the Bayshore development. It was unforeseen that in 2006, Cordamentha were appointed as receivers for the West Point Group, and this had some repercussions for the building. Firstly, most of the contracts were cancelled by the original purchasers and they received their deposits back. The building, which was only 70% complete at the time, had to be completed by the receiver and the property had to be marketed all over again. Upon completion in 2004, the median price for an ID apartment was approximately $414,000. This slipped to $365,000 in 2005 and recovered slightly to $370,000 in 2006. Incidentally, in the same year, the median price for a Bayshore apartment was just over $366,000, so it was very close to the median of an ID apartment. From 2007 onwards, the median price of apartments in both buildings recovered well and have really gone from strength to strength since then. In 2015, the median price of an ID apartment was $600,000 and the median price for a Bayshore apartment was $520,000. This has altered slightly in 2016. In the first 6 months, the median for an ID apartment is $575,000 and the median for a Bayshore apartment is $615,000. A conclusion that we can draw from the history of both buildings is that it's not your ability to time the market that's important, it's your time in the market that's important. Those investors who purchased a property off the plan in both those buildings and still retain them to the present day have shown the biggest increases in capital improvement in that time, and they've been the real winners in this story. This can be a lesson for people that have bought off the plan recently or are about to. Whether you are an investor or an owner-occupier, it's important to remember that property is a long-term play. Property is a store of wealth. Those people that stay in for the long term are the real winners in the property game. Those that sell too soon or at the wrong part of the cycle will lose or break even at best, and that's a real shame because they miss out on a lot of equity by simply holding a property for 3 or 4 years longer. As a selling agent, I've been involved in both the Bayshore building and the ID building since their inception and their completion. Both of these buildings offer a relatively affordable entry point for potential buyers into the burgeoning inner Bayside market, particularly when the median value of a Port Melbourne property has just ticked over $1.2 million in 2016. In an era where consumers are increasingly searching for value, whether it's holidays, cars or deals online, both of these buildings offer, I think, real tangible benefits in terms of size, facilities, amenity, lifestyle, and I can hardly recommend both buildings to you. I'm Robert Broadhurst from Buxton Real Estate Albert Park. I look forward to seeing you at the next open inspection. Have a good day.